Officer Lopera will be charged with involuntary manslaughter and oppression under the color of office.
Well, that was Nevada's Clark County Sheriff announcing criminal charges against a Las Vegas police officer following the release of a coroner's report concluding the death of an unarmed black man was homicide by asphyxiation. 31-year-old Officer Kenneth Lopera was released on $6,000 bail and pleaded not guilty to the charges. He's accused of using what is known as an unauthorized martial arts style chokehold on the victim, which blocks blood flow from the carotid artery to the brain. The autopsy also revealed that 40-year-old Tashi Farmer was high on methamphetamine and had an enlarged heart. He was the father of two who lived with his mother and was being treated for depression. Lopera's body camera captures the incident, which began at the Venetian Hotel coffee shop where Farmer approached the officer and his partner, telling them he was being followed. Lopera said he appeared sweaty and disoriented. A chase ensued. Once the officer caught up with him, he repeatedly shouted to Farmer to roll on his stomach and tased him 7 times, 4 times more than allowed by the department. The video shows Farmer reaching for his back, trying to remove the taser prongs. Hotel security cameras show police and Venetian security guards on the scene while Lopera punches Farmer in the face and neck. Lopera then puts Farmer in what is called the rear naked choke for a minute. After he was handcuffed, police noticed Farmer was not breathing and gave him CPR until paramedics arrived. He was pronounced dead at a hospital. Of course, so let's go to our guest right now, folks. He is the attorney for Farmer, Andre Lagomarsino of Lagomarsino Law, who's representing the family of Tashi Brown. First and foremost, again, it's rare for us to actually talk about an officer being charged in the death of an unarmed black man.
That's right. This is the first time that the Clark County District Attorney's Office has ever charged a member of the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department for acts committed while on duty. So it is quite a historic moment here in Las Vegas.
So he gets charged with manslaughter, but are you still fearful, though? We saw this happen in a case in Oklahoma City. We saw what happened with Michael Schlager in South Carolina, and we can go on and on and on, where even with video, even with testimony, officer doesn't get convicted.
You know, the family, there's no amount of criminal prosecution that can bring Tashi Brown back. And so, yes, while the family wants justice, at least the police department and the district attorney's office has acknowledged that they believe it's criminal behavior, and it should be up to a Nevada jury to decide whether this officer is convicted or not.
And so what is now the police department, the first sheriff's office announced the charges against him. But what has been the response from them? Have they been in touch with the family? Have they apologized? What has been that relationship?
Well, there has been no apology from the police department. Internal Affairs has reached out to Tashi's mom to find out what was going on that night with him and to try to find out more information. But that's been the extent of it. She has been to the police department to pick up some of his belongings, but the police kept his cell phone, so they're going to be tracing back what he was doing that night, why he felt that he was in fear, why he felt that he was being chased by somebody. And there'll be what's known as a fact-finding review process here in a couple months in which the police department will present the evidence that they've shown to the public. It's different than the trial, but they do present quite a bit of evidence here. Nevada, we've had a long history of not only officer-involved deaths and in-custody deaths, but police-involved shootings. And as a result, the Justice Department came in here in 2012 and kind of implemented some training and some other procedures, including transparency, that hopefully will bring out some of the facts to light.
All right, then. Well, first of all, we certainly appreciate it. Thank you for joining us. We'll be following this case.
Thank you so much.
Let's go to Texas, folks, with the father of a 12-year-old African-American student who was subjected to racial harassment for several months by fellow schoolmates says the school did not do enough to punish the students whose conduct was investigated by officials. The incident took place at Tippett Middle School in Georgetown, Texas, just outside of Austin, Texas, where African-Americans comprise just 4% of the student body. Among other slurs, the student was called an ape and a slave by classmates, and at one point was chased by a female student with a piece of rubber who pretended to whip her, telling her, "You're my slave now." A report authored by the school's principal, Brian Dawson, details the racist comments and actions the victim endured, but said they did not amount to bullying because the victim was not physically threatened. The Georgetown Independent School District put out this statement, quote, "The behavior of the students involved in this incident was inappropriate and unacceptable. The campus principal responded swiftly, and all students involved were appropriately disciplined according to our student code of conduct." According to the victim's father, his daughter will attend a different school next year. Let's talk to him right now. Robert Ranko, civil rights attorney at the Carlson Law Firm and the father of the student who was racially harassed. Here you are, civil rights attorney. You hear this response from the school district. I take it you're not satisfied.
No, sir. They say that the students were appropriately disciplined within their code of conduct. I would disagree that that's true. If that's true, then we need to review the code of conduct, because what they define as bullying and the manner in which they would punish students who would do this to anybody, not just my daughter, but anybody, it's unacceptable, and they're not addressing it appropriately.
And so, how long has your daughter gone to this school?
She's been there about 4 years.
She's been there 4 years. What grade is she in?
In the school district. This is the middle school, so she just finished 7th grade.
For 7th grade. And so, obviously, she's been going there. She has friends there. And you decided you're going to move her out of the school. I mean, you know, that is a disruption. It's unnecessary. And so, surely, you're not happy about that.
Well, we're not happy about any disruption. This is not the first incident that she's dealt with. There were 3 incidents this spring involving my younger daughter. My older daughter went to the school previously. We had issues with the administration then as to how they would deal with incidents involving her, discipline of other students. They tried to suspend my older daughter when she showed up to school with a red braid and tried to suspend her for a week for something that wasn't even a policy. It took pain in the neck lawyer dad to review the policy and tell the principal that he couldn't suspend somebody for something that's not a rule.
What's next?
Next is we're trying to deal within the system that the school has within the independent school district. This, what I have come to learn, we are not unique. There's been a pattern of failures when it comes to disciplining students who bully kids, who do racist things against children of color, and it needs to stop. You know, I thought my kid they were failing to validate what happened to her when they failed to punish these kids really at all, other than some counseling and a few wind sprints at tennis practice. What I found out is I was the lucky one because I got a report done. I start talking to other people in the community and I find out they can't even get reports done when their kids are beat up, when their kids are racially harassed. So the system they have in place is failing across the board. My kid was just the next kid in line that it happened to.
All right, then. Robert Ranko, we appreciate it. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
All right, folks, coming up next, we'll talk with Governor Kenneth Mapp of the U.S. Virgin Islands about what's taking place there when it comes to Medicaid, minimum wage, and other issues. 10 before top of the hour. News 1 Now, TV 1.